Honda aim to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 and is planned to driving widespread adoption of EV.
Honda isn't just entering the clean energy game, they're flipping the whole board. With their new 2025 hydrogen-powered engine, the company is challenging everything we thought we knew about electric vehicles. Their CEO says this engine could destroy the EV industry, and honestly, after seeing what it can do, that might not be an exaggeration. Let's break down why this changes everything. Honda's silent revolution. Honda's story doesn't begin with fancy tech or luxury cars, it begins with survival. Right after World War II, Soichiro Honda was simply trying to get from point A to point B without much money or fuel. So he strapped a tiny engine onto a bicycle. That homemade contraption might not have turned heads, but it sparked something huge. From that humble moment, Honda rapidly evolved. Motorcycles came next, and they didn't just function, they dominated. Honda bikes started breaking records and winning races, proving that Japanese machines could stand toe-to-toe with the West's best. That reputation for precision and performance became the brand's backbone. When Honda turned to cars, it brought that same spirit of innovation. Their engines were light, smooth, reliable, and somehow fun. Drivers loved how they felt behind the wheel. Over the decades, that trust never faded. Today, Honda is the largest engine manufacturer on Earth. If it has a motor, there's a good chance Honda built it, whether it's a motorcycle, lawn mower, private jet, or even a Formula One race car. This reputation turned Honda into a household name. Selling over 4 million vehicles annually, they now stand as the 7th largest automaker in the world. But their success has never just been about quantity. It's about how they build, smart, steady, and ahead of the curve. Now, as the automotive world buzzes with electric hype, Honda has quietly introduced something that doesn't follow the standard EV script. Their new powertrain technology doesn't need traditional charging or gasoline. It's designed to operate cleaner, longer, and possibly better than electric cars, all without being a fully electric vehicle. What exactly is this new technology? Honda's latest CR-V is powered by a next-generation hybrid hydrogen engine, a setup that uses hydrogen to generate electricity on the go, essentially making it a self-charging powerhouse. No waiting for hours at charging stations, and no carbon emissions like traditional engines. It's like having the convenience of petrol with the cleanliness of electricity, without their biggest downsides. As the industry shifts toward battery dependency, Honda's move feels almost rebellious. But sometimes, innovation doesn't follow the crowd, it leads ahead of it. And right now, Honda may have just stepped into the future before anyone else realized the rules were about to change. Take a look at the Honda Accord, one of the most trusted names in the car world. In just the first half of 2017, over 161,000 units were sold in the US alone. That number isn't a fluke. People buy Hondas because they've earned a reputation for one thing: they don't let you down. Whether it's someone's first car or their fifth, Honda keeps showing up, year after year, without fuss or failure. But it's not just about dependability. Honda has a long history of staying ahead, sometimes way ahead. Back in the 1970s, when the US slapped on stricter emissions rules, Honda wasn't scrambling to catch up. They were leading with their revolutionary CVCC engine, something no one else had. That move didn't just meet regulations, it set a new standard. Then came the VTEC system, another flex. It gave small engines the muscle and power delivery of much bigger ones, changing how compact cars were seen. While others were trying to go big, Honda made smart feel powerful. They didn't stop there. They were one of the first to bring hybrids to the US, showing the world that eco-friendly didn't have to mean boring. With the Insight, they made green feel fresh, even cool, for the first time. Fast forward to today, and while the world is obsessed with electric vehicles, Honda is taking a totally different path. No, it's not another hybrid. And no, it's not a traditional electric car either. What Honda is working on now doesn't quite fit into any of those categories. Instead of following the herd, Honda is once again betting on a different kind of future. They are bringing hydrogen back into the spotlight. But this isn't some vague concept or science fair project. They're already building it into their latest CR-V. Yes, a hydrogen-powered CR-V is happening, and it's aiming to do what EVs still struggle with. Hydrogen offers fast refueling, long range, and zero emissions, all without needing hours of charging or massive battery packs. Honda isn't just making an eco-friendly car, they're creating a self-charging hybrid hydrogen model that could potentially leapfrog the entire EV category. So why would Honda, a company already dominating the engine game, take such a massive swing at something so uncertain? Because they've always believed that engines aren't dead, they just need to evolve. Honda sees a future where combustion isn't replaced, but reimagined. And that brings us to their current CEO, who confidently believes that their next-gen CR-V could shake up the EV landscape. In his eyes, it's the beginning of something that could rewrite what people expect from cars. While most automakers are busy chasing the same finish line, Honda's already taking a turn that might lead to a brand new road altogether. Hydrogen might not be trendy right now, but then again, true innovation rarely is. How EVs took over so fast to get people off petrol, authorities dangled serious incentives, tax breaks, rebates, and bonus points for looking environmentally woke. Some countries even slapped a countdown clock on gas and diesel cars, planning to ban them entirely within the next decade or so. Suddenly, electricity wasn't only a trend, it was a government-approved lifestyle choice. And to be fair, electric vehicles were delivered. Battery tech improved, charging speeds got better, and once people stopped being weirded out by the silence of an EV, they actually wanted one. Sales exploded. Tesla was the blueprint, and every other car company jumped on the bandwagon. Ford, Hyundai, BMW, you name it. But here's the thing. Beneath the glossy touchscreens and whisper-quiet motors, there's a mess that no one talks about enough. EVs have a dark side, and it's buried under the batteries. First off, batteries don't last forever. They degrade, just like the one in your phone, except this one weighs half a ton and costs thousands to replace. They're also loaded with rare earth elements like lithium and cobalt, which don't exactly come from a magical, sustainable fairyland. Mining them is a dirty business, often done in poor countries with awful working conditions and brutal environmental damage. Then there's the issue of disposal. What do you do with an EV battery when it dies? Recycling options are still catching up, and in many places, they just pile up, huge, toxic, electronic bricks waiting to rot. Even the everyday experience of owning an EV isn't as flawless as the ads would have you believe. Sure, charging at home overnight is convenient, until it's not. Fast charging stations aren't everywhere, and even when they are, you can still be stuck waiting half an hour or more to get enough juice to keep moving. Electric cars might be the golden child of green transport, but they are not perfect. And now, with the rise of hydrogen technology quietly making waves, some are beginning to wonder if we crowned the king too early. But here's where things get a little less shiny. The upfront cost of electric cars is still high. Even with government tax breaks, electric vehicles can seriously dent your wallet. And sure, plugging in at home seems affordable, until everyone starts doing it. If millions of people charge their EVs at once, electricity prices could spike, and suddenly your cheap ride starts to look expensive again. On the surface, EVs look like the obvious answer. But when you scratch beyond the headlines, things start to feel a little off. It's not just about swapping petrol for electricity. It's about creating a solution that's actually clean and sustainable from start to finish. Right now, EVs risk shifting the problem rather than solving it. Mining for rare earth metals like lithium and cobalt, managing massive battery waste, and struggling with slow charge times and power grid limitations, none of that screams final solution. While most automakers are sprinting down the EV path, Honda takes a left turn. They've decided not to chase the crowd but to carve their own route, one that doesn't rely on lithium mines, doesn't require hours of charging, and doesn't produce a giant hunk of waste once the battery dies. And Honda's answer is hydrogen. Not electricity. Not petrol. Something in between. A fuel so light it's literally the first element on the periodic table. When used, its only byproduct is water. No smog, no carbon emissions, no awkward battery graves. And the twist? Honda isn't new to this game. They were experimenting with hydrogen long before it became a trending hashtag. In 2015, Honda rolled out a car that looked like it had driven straight out of 2050. It was called the Clarity Fuel Cell Vehicle, or Clarity FCV, and it didn't run on petrol. It also didn't plug into your wall like a Tesla. Instead, it used a hydrogen fuel cell that converted gas into electricity on the go, powering the car with nothing but water dripping out the tailpipe. It was quiet, clean, and honestly, ahead of its time. But the Clarity never made it big. The world just wasn't ready. Hydrogen fueling stations were few and far between, and EVs were suddenly getting all the attention. So the Clarity disappeared, quietly shelved, like a good idea that came a little too early. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.